folks, it is the Turtle Dork back with a new movie review for you today. So this week I have for you is The Girl in the Spider's Web, a new dragon tattoo story. If you're familiar with this franchise, there was a trilogy of films from Sweden about 10 or 15 years ago with the title character of Lisbeth Salander, played by Noomi Rapace in those foreign films. There was a remake by David Fincher in 2011 with Rooney Mara, and this version, I guess you can maybe call this a reboot, a sequel, or a reboot quill, whatever you want to call it. But this new version has Claire Foy, Stephen Merchant, Lakeith Stanfield. I'll start with that. I like the cast. Certain characters I definitely wanted to see a little bit more of. I really thought Stephen Merchant was really good in the film. He's an actor that I'm starting to want to see a little bit more of. Lakeith Stanfield, I like the fact that he's kind of diversifying himself and doing a lot of different things with his career. I think he's making the right steps in his career by doing certain things and not getting pigeonholed and stereotyped in certain type of roles. And I think that he's really good. He's good in this film. I think his character is the type of character that we see a lot in these type of films, but what he brings to it, I think, is really good. Claire Foy, I think that she definitely embodies the character of Lisbeth Salander. So with all that being said, I think the casting in this movie is really good. I think Fede Alvarez does a good job with directing this film in a visual stylistic way. I mean, he does have a few flourishes where you can see he's doing some interesting camera moves. Some stuff that we're kind of known from him from seeing some of his previous films, whether it be Evil Dead or Don't Breathe. He's doing some interesting camera moves with that, but that's very far and few between in this movie. But unfortunately, this movie at best is serviceable. To me, a lot of the issues that I had with the film was the simple fact that it just wasn't compelling. It just wasn't interesting. It just felt like a run-of-the-mill spy thriller. The character of Lisbeth Salander is such a rich character that you kind of stick her in this film that really is just kind of, you know, turning its wheels and not really going anywhere. And I just felt the movie was just way too convenient as far as certain things that would happen in the film. It's kind of like that crypto or computer hacking wizardry, the magic that everything seems to be convenient. She can hack into anything that seems to just kind of go her way. And I mean, sometimes you have to kind of buy into certain things like that, but this happens so often in this movie where she's hacking into cars with a cell phone, and she's doing all this stuff that it really does start to challenge your suspension for disbelief. And it just gets to a point where it's just like, okay, it doesn't matter what kind of obstacle she's faced with, you know she's going to get out of it, or you know she's going to find a solution to it, because all she has to do is type something into a keyboard or to a computer, and voila, everything's fine. Okay, that just didn't really work for me. And then when you get into and this really isn't a spoiler, because if you saw the trailer for the film, you kind of know that her sister is the antagonist of the film. And I didn't like the device of trying to put the two of them together, making them be at odds, because the reason that her sister has this vengeance towards Lisbeth really doesn't make any sense, because it's more, it feels manufactured and forced, because she blames her sister for leaving her behind, but ultimately it was her choice to stay where she was in the first place. So why would you blame her for your decision? So it just doesn't bring that emotional weight that the movie is trying to imply, for you to really kind of buy in and invest into these two sisters really being at odds with each other. So to me, that just kind of fell apart. Yeah, so, and I think there was something really interesting that you could have told with this story. Now, I don't know if it's the direction or the script. It could have been a combination of both, but there was something there that I think really could have spoke to the times that we're living in now, especially when you're looking at, the Time's Up and the Me Too movement, especially looking at the storyline with her sister. I think there was something really, really deep and compelling that you could have done with this story, but unfortunately, this movie just gets caught up in just wanting to be a paint by numbers spy thriller that you could have just, I mean, this is a movie that feels like you could have saw this 15 years ago, and it would have fit right in line with like some of the Bourne movies that came out around that time, or the James Bond movies of that era. But now it just feels like it's just way too late for a movie like this. But which is unfortunate because, again, Lisbeth Salander, I think that character deserves better than this film. But maybe if they do continue, and if the movie is successful, and they bring back this cast, maybe if they can get a better script, maybe they can really, really tell a story that is worth our time, and worth telling the stories of these characters. So I don't know, those are my initial thoughts of the movie for The Girl in the Spider's Web. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought of the film in the comments below. Go ahead, rate, like, subscribe, and share, and go to check out my other dorks at Mouth Dork, at The Disco Dork, at WB Daz, and at Sidewalk Siren. And as for me, I am the Turtle Dork, and with that, I'm out.